What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. The eye poke madness in MMA continues, this time in one of the wildest fights of 2025 at UFC Vegas. Tom Aspinall's teammate Dileia found himself in the center of controversy after his chaotic fight against Waldo Acosta. During the bout, Dileia accidentally poked Waldo in the eye before following up with heavy punches that appeared to end the fight. However, confusion struck when the referee decided to resume the fight after a long pause. Despite still struggling with his vision, Acosta made an unbelievable comeback and knocked Dileia out cold. Moments later, Waldo collapsed to the ground in pain, clutching his damaged eye, yet he somehow emerged as the victor. The shocking finish reignited heated debate around Tom Aspinall's controversial decision to stop fighting after his eye poke incident with Cyril Gane at UFC 321 Dartouant. Fans quickly took to social media to mock the heavyweight champion, claiming Waldo's victory proved that fighters can continue despite serious eye injuries. The comparison spread fast, and the MMA community once again found itself divided. Daniel Cormier and Michael Bisping weighed in on the situation during a post-fight discussion, addressing the inevitable comparisons between Waldo Acosta and Tom Aspinall. "There's going to be a lot of people talking about Tom after this," Cormier said, "but I don't think it can be directly related." Bisping agreed, noting that while both involved eye pokes, the situations were not the same. "You take the situations because they are different," Cormier added. "They're not the same, and you have to look at them individually." According to Bisping, Waldo had stated he was operating with only about 30% of his sight after the incident, yet chose to continue fighting, a decision that paid off with an incredible comeback knockout. Both analysts agreed that no two eye pokes are ever identical, and the physical and mental reactions of fighters can vary drastically. Still, the comparison to Aspinall was unavoidable, especially since Dileia trains closely with the heavyweight champion. In the end, the fight served as another reminder of how unpredictable MMA can be, and how thin the line is between victory, injury, and controversy. While Waldo Acosta's resilience earned him a highlight reel win, the ongoing eye poke debate refuses to fade away. Move on to another news. Ante Dileia has finally broken his silence following his chaotic and controversial loss to Waldo Acosta, and he's not holding back. In a fiery post-fight statement, Dileia claimed he was robbed and listed 5 major issues with how the entire situation was handled. First, Dileia insisted that he never actually poked Waldo in the eye, arguing that his strike landed near it, not directly on it, and demanded an official video review to clear his name. Second, he claimed that the referee never called a proper timeout, instead stopping the fight prematurely and even declaring Dileia the winner, a decision that was later overturned. According to Dileia, that reversal was completely unjustified. Third, he pointed out that Waldo was allowed to sit down and watch footage during the confusion, something that's not permitted under standard UFC protocol. Fourth, Dileia emphasized that replays cannot legally be used once a fight is stopped, yet in his words, that rule was broken. Finally, he argued that the fight's resumption after all the chaos was irregular and unprofessional, calling the entire situation a complete mess. The controversy quickly caught the attention of UFC President Dana White, who addressed the incident and the ongoing comparisons to Tom Aspinall's eye poke fight with Cyril Gane at UFC 321. Speaking with reporters, Dana chose not to take sides but offered his trademark blunt take on the matter. "I'm not going to comment on it," White said. "They both got poked in the eye. The competitor that Waldo is," he said. "I'm not going out like that. You can't use that as an excuse. The guy either wants to fight or he doesn't. If he wants to fight, he'll let us know. If he doesn't, he won't." When asked if he had spoken directly with Dileia following the loss, Dana clarified, "No, I didn't talk to him. He walked right out of the Octagon, did his interview, and I'm assuming he's already on his way to the hospital." The eye poke saga continues to stir heated debate within the MMA world as fighters, fans, and analysts weigh in on whether Dileia's complaints hold merit, or if Waldo's comeback victory was simply part of the unpredictable chaos that defines combat sports. Either way, the echoes of controversy from UFC 321 have found new life, and once again, the UFC finds itself at the center of another high-profile eye poke storm. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev recently gave an in-depth interview with Russia's Match TV, addressing several major topics, from Ilia Topuria's knockout over Charles Oliveira to his own future in the UFC. Speaking candidly, Makhachev defended Topuria's controversial finish against Oliveira, where Ilia landed additional shots on a downed opponent. According to Islam, those moments are driven purely by instinct, not aggression. He explained, "When a fighter lands a big shot, you keep going until the referee stops it. That's how we're trained. If you stop early, you risk losing the fight." Makhachev compared the moment to his own experiences, recalling how he didn't need to follow up after knocking out Tafa, but still threw extra extra punches against Alexander Volkanovski before the referee intervened. "I wasn't in control at that moment," he said. "I was waiting for the referee to stop it. Fighters don't think, we react." When asked if opponents fear him, Islam gave a balanced answer. "Some probably do, but fighters like Volkanovski can't be scared. You can't intimidate someone who's already been through fire and water." His respect for his past rivals was evident throughout the interview, showing the maturity of a champion who's seen it all. The interviewer also asked whether Ilia Topuria reminds him of Conor McGregor in terms of star power. Islam laughed and dismissed the comparison, saying, "It's not even close. Ilia is one of the biggest stars right now, but nothing will ever reach the magnitude of Khabib versus Conor." Still, he admitted that Topuria's rise has been impressive and that the Spanish-Georgian fighter brings fresh energy to the sport. When it came to his own career plans, Makhachev made it clear he's done with lightweight for good. Despite the fan buzz surrounding a potential super fight with Topuria, Islam said the idea doesn't interest him. "What would it bring me if I dropped to 155 and beat Topuria?" he said. "Win the belt again? I already have it. Going back down would be torture for no real reward." Now focused entirely on his welterweight run, Islam said training at 170 pounds has been a breath of fresh air. "I feel stronger, healthier, and I can eat well. No cutting, no stress. I'm enjoying this camp more than any before," he added. His next challenge, Jack Della Maddalena, remains his full focus. Islam praised the Australian's skills, but confidently stated he plans to dominate once again. Move on to another news. During the post-fight press conference, heavyweight contender Waldo Cortez Acosta issued a bold warning to interim UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, confidently declaring that he would handle him the same way he dealt with Aspinall's teammate. When asked if his call-out was a heat-of-the-moment reaction or a genuine challenge, Waldo made his intentions clear. He explained that his motivation stemmed from a desire to face the very best and to prove he belongs among the division's elite. "I want to fight Tom because I want to be champion," Waldo stated firmly. "People saw what happened with his teammate. I dropped him in the first round. So why shouldn't I face Tom next? If he's truly the best, let's find out in the cage." He went on to mention the controversy surrounding recent eye pokes involving Aspinall and others, saying that he doesn't believe in excuses or delays. "Fighters talk about eye pokes or accidents," he said, "but champions don't make excuses. You recover, you move forward, and you fight. That's what I do." Cortez Acosta emphasized that his training and mindset have evolved drastically over the past year, and that he's ready for any challenge the UFC puts in front of him, especially Aspinall. "I've been training with some of the best heavyweights in the world. I'm stronger, faster, and smarter in there now," he said. "If Tom Aspinall thinks I'm just talking, he'll find out quickly that I'm serious. I'll test his heart, his chin, and his ground game." Waldo ended his statement with one final message directed at Aspinall. "You said your team has the best training partners, but remember..." With this call-out, Cortez Acosta made it clear that he's not just looking for attention. He's ready for war. Whether the UFC books this matchup remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Waldo Cortez Acosta just put the entire heavyweight division on notice. Move on to another news. Just weeks after knocking out Shakalil Rountrang at UFC 320, former light heavyweight champion Jiri Prochazka has stirred up major conversation by hinting at a possible move down to G middleweight. In a recent interview, Jiri revealed that he's seriously considering the cut, but only if his long-awaited trilogy fight with Alex Pereira fails to materialize. Prochazka, currently riding an impressive 2-fight winning streak over top contenders, made it clear that his interest in moving to 185 pounds isn't about avoiding challenges at light heavyweight. He emphasized that he still feels strong, healthy, and capable of dominating at 205. For him, a move to middleweight isn't about necessity, it's about personal evolution and testing his limits as a martial artist. "This is not about running away from anyone," Jiri explained. "I just want a new challenge. If the Pereira fight doesn't happen, I want something fresh, something that pushes me to become better." He also acknowledged that the weight cut to 185 pounds could be difficult, but believes it's achievable. "Cutting to 93 kilos is no problem," he said confidently. "Dropping to 84 kilos middleweight will be something new, but I know my body. I believe I can make it if I prepare the right way." The Czech powerhouse remains focused on his ultimate mission, to bring another world title home to the Czech Republic, but he's also eager to shake up another division if the opportunity arises. "I want to bring the light heavyweight title to my country," he said. "But if that's done, or if the next big fight doesn't come, maybe middleweight is the next step." Fans and analysts have already started speculating about potential matchups for Jiri at 185, imagining explosive clashes against the likes of Ian Strickland or Border Whitaker, or Yukumzat Chimaev. His unorthodox style, unpredictable striking and warrior mindset could inject new chaos into a division already stacked with talent. For now, Prochazka remains non-committal, preferring to keep his options open while staying ready for whatever the UFC presents next. Whether it's another run at light heavyweight gold or a shocking drop to middleweight, one thing's certain: Jiri Prochazka is always looking for the next battle to conquer. Move on to another news. Alex Pereira, one of the UFC's biggest stars, recently admitted that he ignored the UFC's medical advice regarding his foot injury, something that might not sit well with the promotion. After reclaiming his light heavyweight title at UFC 320 by defeating Makhachev and Makhachev in a dominant performance, Pereira revealed that he had suffered a broken foot during the bout. Despite the injury, the Brazilian powerhouse seemed unfazed and eager to get back to training. In a recent interview with Makhachev, Pereira shared that the UFC's doctors had advised him to wear a protective boot for 6 more weeks to ensure full recovery. However, Pereira decided to go against that recommendation after seeking additional opinions. "The UFC doctors told me to wear the boot for another 6 weeks, Pereira explained. "But I talked to a few others who said that keeping it immobilized for too long could cause muscle atrophy and make it harder to move around later. So I decided to start walking on it again sooner." The champion said the pain was significant right after the fight but improved quickly within a few days. "The pain was okay after the first week," he added. "I wore the boot most of the time and only took it off to shower. Now, walking is fine. If I kick, it still hurts a little, but it's healing well." While Pereira's confidence in his own recovery is clear, AEG's decision to defy medical advice could raise some eyebrows within the UFC. If his recovery continues smoothly and he's able to return to action soon, the promotion will likely let it slide. However, if complications arise and his injury worsens, it could delay major fight plans, including the rumored super fight with Jon Jones, which UFC President Dana White has hinted could take place at a major international card next year. Pereira's warrior mentality and quick return to form have always defined his career, but this situation highlights the fine line fighters walk between toughness and recklessness. For now, it seems like the light heavyweight king is recovering well, but the UFC will be watching closely, especially if this decision ends up affecting one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory. Move on to another news. Chael Sonnen has responded to Henry Cejudo's bold comments, claiming his career accomplishments surpass those of Khabib Nurmagomedov. During an episode of the AEG Pound for Pound podcast, Cejudo argued that his resume, which includes Olympic gold and UFC titles in 2 weight divisions, should rank above Khabib's. He explained, "I've told Khabib this directly. He hasn't done enough. I don't put him ahead of me. If he had moved up in weight and won another belt, then yes, that would be different. But he stayed in one division. I truly believe Khabib could have even won a title at 185 pounds. He's that good, but he never tested himself that way." Cejudo's comments quickly caught Chael Sonnen's attention, and the outspoken analyst offered his perspective in a video on his YouTube channel. Sonnen disagreed with Cejudo's argument, saying, "Would I put Henry ahead of Khabib just because he fought in multiple weight classes while Khabib didn't? No. It's a fun debate. Henry versus Khabib for GOAT status, but going undefeated carries enormous weight. Khabib went 29-0, winning all 13 of his UFC fights. That's something almost no one has ever done." Sonnen added that while winning titles in 2 divisions is rare and impressive, an undefeated record in a career as dominant as Khabib's is nearly untouchable. Sonnen also touched on another hot topic, Ronda Rousey's recent criticism of MMA fan shaming. Rousey told comedian Bert Kreischer that fans turn on fighters once they lose, calling them ungrateful. Sonnen fired back, saying, "Nobody's really thinking about you outside of your home or your circle. The fans don't love or hate you personally. It's never been about that. That's something Ronda never seemed to understand." He went on to explain that fighters often mistake fan enthusiasm for personal loyalty. The part Ronda got wrong is thinking they loved her. They were never truly with her. They were just fans enjoying the ride. That's not cruel. That's just the nature of sports fandom. As always, Sonnen's breakdown cut straight to the point, defending Khabib's legacy while reminding fighters that public admiration in MMA is fleeting and should never be confused with personal devotion.